Join in on your sofa, join in on your chair. You can fidget all you want, join in anywhere. Adventures abound, treasure to be found, wishes come true. We'll tell you a story. Will you tell us one too? Fidget story. Jack Frost.
Once upon a time, in a town, a little bit like this one, a young girl called Holly, who was about your age, was walking to school. It was a cold and frosty morning, but Holly didn't mind. She let her red duffel coat fall open as she half walked, half ran with her trumpet case bumping along at her side. It was the 1st of December, and the countdown to Christmas had already begun. And today was the first day of rehearsals for the school Christmas concert, and there was a brand new teacher starting. Yes, today was going to be a good day. The new teacher was Miss Evergreen. Today was her first day. Her new little house was going to be just right when everything was unpacked. Putting on the school Christmas concert was going to be a big challenge, but she had high hopes. She arrived at school early and had everything prepared. The children were bound to be excited, as she was. Yes, today was going to be a good day. When the children arrived, Miss Evergreen introduced herself.
Macaroni cheese, everybody freeze. Welcome to rehearsals. My name is Miss Evergreen.
Holly was very excited. She tried to sit still, but she wanted to show Miss Evergreen just how much she knew. And she had so many questions.
Miss, can I play my trumpet now?
Miss Evergreen pressed on and showed everyone how to warm up their voices.
Massage your cheeks like this. And then gently blow air through your lips like this.
Which made Holly a little bit giggly. Suddenly, the window flew open and an icy breeze blew into the room. Holly leapt up to help.
Miss, look. It's all frosty out there.
Yes, the season is upon us. Jack Frost is nipping at our toes.
Holly didn't know what Miss Evergreen was talking about, so Miss Evergreen explained, Jack Frost is just an expression we say when the weather starts to get cold. The rehearsal continued. Then there was a whoosh and a twinkling sound. Holly looked out of the window and saw a pair of smiling eyes staring back at her.
I saw him. Well, I saw Jack Frost.
Miss Evergreen told Holly to sit down and behave. The rehearsal was proving rather hard work. There was a lot of work to do, and the last thing she needed was children imagining things outside the window. But Holly knew she had seen someone. As she left the school building, she glimpsed a figure weaving along in and out of sight, making no more noise than the breeze. Holly followed. The person, if indeed it was a person, had bare feet despite the cold and wore clothes that seemed to swirl around like flurries of snow. Holly saw a face and eyes sparkling in the gloom. It was a boy. Frozen for a moment, Holly watched him reach for a whistle. and play a magical tune. There was a breath of wind, and then he disappeared. Holly followed. She copied the magical tune on her trumpet and stepped onto the spot where the boy had disappeared. An invisible curtain seemed to part, and Holly found herself in a strange and beautiful place. The trees, the ground, even the air shimmered with ice. But Holly wasn't cold. And then she saw him.
I know who you are. You're Jack Frost.
The boy was shocked. He wanted to know how Holly had found him, and most of all, how she could see him. Only those with magic inside can see me.
I found Jack Frost.
Holly liked Jack immediately. He told her that without him, there would be no winter, and that he alone could control the ice, wind, and snow. He explained that making music made magical things happen. Jack spoke in a strange way. He seemed old and young at the same time. But he wanted to hear what Holly had to say. When Holly played her trumpet, Jack leapt around with joy. The pair danced and played, while Jack played his whistle and conducted the wind and flurries of snow to swirl around their heads. They played together for what felt like hours. But no time had passed at all. Then, Holly's granddad was calling, and it was time to leave. But Jack was disappointed, and he wanted his new friend to stay.
I have to go. We'll come to rehearsals again tomorrow. You can hear the music.
That night, Jack Frost flew high above the town and wondered at the people safe and warm inside their homes. Amongst them, his new friend, Holly. The only friend Jack Frost, the spirit of winter, had ever had in all of his long years. At the next Christmas concert rehearsal, Miss Evergreen was ready to teach the class a new song. But her expectations were high, and she was starting to get a little bit stressed.
This Christmas concert will be accomplished. I'm going to need full concentration from everybody.
Then the problems really started. Every time Miss Evergreen got going, a gust of wind would blow a window open. The teacher would dash to close it, but as soon as her back was turned, Jack Frost's mischievous face would appear and it would swing open again. To Miss Evergreen, Jack was invisible. Papers blew off music stands and Miss Evergreen's coffee turned into a block of ice.
Oh my goodness! What on earth is happening?
Holly was beside herself with laughter. She barely noticed her classmates getting more and more annoyed and bounced out of the rehearsal to congratulate her new friend on the great trick they had played on everyone.
That was brilliant. Did you see Miss Evergreen's face? We have to do more. Can you do it, Jack?
Jack hesitated. He knew it was dangerous. Winter was powerful. It shouldn't be brought inside. But he loved making Holly happy.
I am Jack Frost. I can command the wind to lift up the world and spin it around and around until nobody knows which way is this or which way is that.
And so, the pair planned to make mischief the very next day. Holly could barely contain her excitement when she arrived at rehearsals. Poor Miss Evergreen tried in vain to keep the windows closed and the children on task. Then, A gust of wind sent the exasperated teacher spinning across the room, and Holly whooped with joy.
We're gonna be like a real snow globe! Woo!
But the storm was just getting started. From outside, Jack sent ice and snow skittering through the open windows and conducted the wind like an orchestra, which lifted the people off their feet as if they were puppets and spun them around the classroom. The sound rose to a cacophony. Thunder boomed and lightning flashed. Jack was so carried away by the awesome power of the storm that he did not hear the frightened screams of Miss Evergreen, the children, and then Holly.
Jack! That's enough now! Jack! Can you hear me? Stop!
Eventually, the chaos of the storm subsided, and Holly looked around at the terrified faces of her classmates cowering under their desks.
Holly, did you make this happen? What on earth am I saying? This is ridiculous. I don't know what just happened, but I can't work like this. It's a disaster.
Holly was furious. How could Jack do this? She rushed from the classroom to find him and confront him. Jack and Holly had a terrible argument. Holly had been so scared by the storm, which made her shout angrily at Jack. Jack did not understand why Holly was being so unkind, so hit back with more unkind words. Everything Holly said made Jack more and more angry, and everything Jack said made Holly more and more angry.
I wish I never followed you. I'd rather be alone than be friends with you.
Well, if that is your wish, then it shall be my command. I will not visit people again. Winter does not bring happiness. I wish to be alone.
Goodbye, Jack Frost. I hope I never see you again.
The pair left, vowing never to speak to one another again. Over the next few days, a strange, muggy cloud descended over the town, and all signs of winter had disappeared. The air was warm and unpleasant. The local news showed the ice rink on the square melting into a mucky puddle, and the great Christmas tree in front of the town hall drooping mournfully in the heat. Holly arrived at school to find a big sign on the music room door saying that the Christmas concert was cancelled. She tried to persuade Miss Evergreen that they could make it work, but the teacher sent Holly home and shut the door. Holly couldn't help noticing that all Miss Evergreen's enthusiasm had slipped away. In fact, she was looking rather sad. What had Holly done? Back at home, Holly looked up at the big yellow moon from her bedroom window.
I think I've done something a lot worse in a few tricks. I made Miss Evergreen so sad. I wanted to play my trumpet in the concert so much, and now I've spoiled things for everyone.
High above the rooftops, Jack Frost was also gazing up at the moon.
I opened my heart to Holly, and now it hurts. I know I am meant to make a magical winter, but my heart is heavy. There is no magic at my fingertips.
Holly was sad and missed Jack, and Jack was sad and missed Holly. They both gazed up at the moon and knew that they had to say sorry.
If I want to make things right again, Just me isn't enough.
I need to go and find my friend.
I need my friend.
Holly ran as fast as she could to try and find Jack. And hearing his name on the wind, Jack found her. The friends said sorry for their angry words and smiled at each other. Being back together felt wonderful. But there was a problem. When Jack had hidden himself away, he had stopped making music, and winter had disappeared. And with no winter, there would be no Christmas. Music was the magic they needed, but Jack was weakened. Then, Holly had an idea. More music made more magic, so they needed more people. In fact, a whole concert. And there was only one person that could make it happen. Miss Evergreen. Miss Evergreen was very surprised when Holly came banging on her door.
Holly? What on earth are you doing?
Holly told her teacher all about the concert, how the music would give Jack the magic he needed to make winter, and how they needed her to make it happen.
I'm so sorry, Miss Evergreen, for everything. You're the best teacher we've ever had. Everyone thinks so. I want you to meet someone special.
But Miss Evergreen didn't know what Holly was talking about. There was nobody there. Jack gestured to Holly. Music. They played a beautiful, joyful song, and something magical happened. Faced with this passionate little girl, Miss Evergreen's heart melted a little, and she began to sing too. As she sang, another person appeared right before her eyes.
Jack Frost!
You bring music into the world, Miss Evergreen, and that is a truly magical thing. We would be so grateful if you could help us.
Miss Evergreen said yes, and then there wasn't a moment to lose. They sped to the school where the choir were waiting, confused but excited, and explained the plan to bring winter and save Christmas. Miss Evergreen told Holly that they should all sing her and Jack's joyful song, and they set about teaching it to everyone. Time was running out, and Jack's magic was still not strong enough to bring winter. Then, Holly had another idea.
But it's not working because we're not together. Jack is outside. If we're going to be on his team, we're going to have to go outside with him.
Then what are we waiting for? Class, we need to go outside. We need to help Jack Frost bring winter and save Christmas.
Following Miss Evergreen's lead, they all headed outside. With the teacher's encouragement, the voices of the choir soared. As they sang, people appeared from the surrounding houses and began to sing too.
One is not enough to make a memory. Your tale cannot be lost if it is shared. We all stand together now, our hearts beat the same. All for the better now, we hope. You can come in from the cold, join hands, be part of the fold. If you open up your heart, let love warm your soul. You can come in from the cold. Join hands, be part of the fold. If you open up your heart, let love warm your soul. You can come in from the cold.
Winter had arrived and Christmas was saved. Finally, it was time to say goodbye to her magical friend. And Holly felt a little sad, but she knew that there would always be a special place in her heart for Jack Frost.
Goodbye, Jack. Merry Christmas.
Farewell, Holly. Merry Christmas.
And that is where we're going to leave our story today. Making music really is a magical thing. In our story, Holly helped Jack bring winter and Christmas joy by playing and singing together. I love this time of year and sharing it with the people I love, and I bet you do too. And I wonder if you can bring some Christmas magic too. Do you have a favourite Christmas song or a Christmas joke that you could share with your friends and family? And I would love to put them all together and make our next story. So, if you want to be part of a Fidget story, here's what you have to do. Number 1, decide on your song or your joke and practice it. And number 2, tell somebody. You could grab somebody in your house and rehearse it with them, or you could call somebody up that maybe is a bit lonely and you can make them laugh. And number 3, tell me about it. You can send a photo or a short video clip to me, and you can get your adults to help you with that one. And then I'll put them all together and create a story from those. And I cannot wait to see the Christmas magic that you're going to bring. Have a lovely Christmas, everyone. Goodbye.
Join hands, be part of the fold. If you open up your heart, let love warm your soul. You can